right here on the Iceberg. Welcome back, folks. We'd like to take just a second to introduce a new feature to the Iceberg page called the Iceberg Hall of Fame. Each week we pick a player from either a past or a present Penguin team that has exhibited excellence both on and off the ice. Last week's selection was Mario Lemieux. This week's pick was his right-hand man, Jaromir Jagr. And now we've got some game predictions for you. Sunday, March 12th is the first game back of a back-to-back weekend. The Penguins will host the Montreal Canadiens at Consol Energy Center. Montreal has had some injury problems of their own this season, missing some of their key players such as Andrei Markov, Josh George, and Yaroslav Spacek. And what do the Penguins need to do to pull off the 2 points here?
Once again, this is going to be another amazingly physical game. And speaking of the Canadiens, you look at the game they played tonight against the Bruins and the games that they've played against them in the past, and it's been very, very, very physical, very aggressive, very rough play, almost similar to the Islanders game that we played where they played the Habs. The Habs played the Bruins, and they had that kind of fighting and craziness, and it's going to be not that kind of breakout between these two teams, but just a very physical game. I expect lots of hits, a couple fights, generally a physical game.
Absolutely, and that's what makes for great playoff hockey as well, leading into April. In their last meeting, the Penguins defeated the Canadiens by the score of 5-2. Carey Price certainly on a roll coming into this one. The Penguins are going to have to find ways to get some pucks by him on this one. Any prediction on the final score of this one?
I think it's going to be another close game. You're looking probably at, based on the way that both teams have played, probably 3-2 Pens, one way or another.
All right, and Sunday the Penguins will take on the struggling Edmonton Oilers. Now, Edmonton could be an underrated team for this one reason. They're already out of the playoffs, and so they're playing with nothing to lose, really. Do you think that makes them a more dangerous opponent for the Penguins than one might think?
Not necessarily with Edmonton. With Edmonton, they have other issues that make them out of contention, and they're not necessarily as dangerous as someone compared to the Jersey Devils, who are fighting for a playoff spot right now. You look at the Edmonton Oilers, and they're not very physical. Their offense isn't very good. Their overall team composition, they're one of the last teams in the league. So I honestly think that we should not cruise, but generally we should have a good chance of winning this hockey game.
Absolutely, and most recently, the Edmonton Oilers lose one of their best players as they traded Dustin Penner to the Los Angeles Kings. I'll stick around here on the Iceberg. We're going to have a couple fan emails answered here when we return. Welcome back to the Iceberg, and we've got an email from John from Harrisburg here, PA, who asks, the Pens seem to have trouble winning games in regulation these days. What needs to change for them to be able to win games in 60 minutes rather than having to exhaust themselves in OT every night? Well, certainly playoff-style hockey this time of season. Everyone's jostling for a playoff spot. Nobody wants to be left out of the race, so everybody's going to be playing hard, and I really think the Pens have done a great job these last couple of games, and they certainly won their game in regulation tonight. I don't think they really need to change much. What do you think?
I think we're doing overall better than we were, but the keys to winning games in regulation are going to be getting that first goal. We need to get the first point on the board, like every night, so that we can have that advantage going into the periods. We need to not trail because we can't come back in the third period. If we're behind in the third period, we're at a huge disadvantage statistically. So getting that first goal and not trailing.
Absolutely. We're going to need a quick strike with a couple of goals in the offense in the first periods, and that's what the Penguins are going to need to do to win games this time of year. And this one comes to us from Pat from Minnesota, who says, I just want to say congrats to James Neal for scoring his first point tonight. He's going to be a really big scorer when he is reunited with the likes of Crosby and Malkin, and thank you, Pat, for sending that one in. And certainly James Neal with the big points tonight, and also don't forget Zbigniew Mikulek with his first Penguins goal. Definitely a couple of big guys stepping up tonight when they needed to. You have anything to add to this one?
That's pretty much about it. Mark Letestu also.
Yes, he's been really great since coming back from injury. Well, that's all the time we have here tonight. I'm Casey Stamp, and on behalf of myself and my partner, Craig Smith, we wish you all a great night and a great week. And I also just want to give a quick shout-out to my family who's listening to this, my father, Tim, my mother, Marie, and my sister, Sarah, back in Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining us here tonight, Craig, and I look forward to working with you again in the upcoming week.
Thanks, Casey. You guys take it easy.
Take it easy, everybody. So long from the Iceberg.